Why did you remake famous artworks?
Well, there's a lot of art through art history that I particularly love. And what I did was I picked 16 of my favorite artists, and I took 16 of their favorite paintings. One of them, as an example, is the Mona Lisa and some other very famous artists. So these are artists that I absolutely love, and it's my way tribute to these famous artists because I happen to love these artists and I love their artwork. I thought it would be just a fun idea to do my version of their most famous paintings.
Well, Mr. Rizzi, I have to show you. We have this one that you mentioned actually hanging up as one of our tables. So I have 10 different tables in the art room, and so we had to do a Rizzi table. And
Good.
And some of my fourth graders last year, they did like a remake of the Mona Lisa, but it was before I became aware of your work. And so when I do that in the future, I will make sure to show them your rendition. I really enjoy those, so because that's a fun parody project to do with the students.
Oh, thank you. I feel very honored that you did that.
Oh, no problem. Okay, Ronnie.
How did you come up with the idea of magnetic art?
Well, for many years, I was doing three-dimensional prints, and I thought one day it would really be a fun idea if people could take the cars and people and the sun and the moon and all the things I usually put inside my drawings and move them around themselves so that they could like come up with their own painting and then it could change every single day. So I think people have a lot of fun, and I happen to like magnets a lot. So I got the idea of just gluing magnets to the back of these pieces and putting a sheet of metal behind the canvas and painting the canvas. Then if I do, say, just a table, I could paint fruit and coffee cups and all the normal things that would go on a table, and people could arrange it on a table. Or if I wanted to do a city thing, I could do buildings and taxi cabs, dogs, cats, garbage cans, and people can move it wherever they want. And I think that's a lot of fun for people because it gives them participation in the work itself. So it's called interactive artwork.
And for those of you who aren't familiar, Mr. Rizzi does artwork. He has his big canvas, and then there's little magnets. So like he can move and rearrange the art. And so my after-school kids actually made a picture, and we had some trouble with our magnets. They weren't as strong. We were successful most of the time, but they put magnets on the back of their picture and then little magnets on their little drawings they made, and so they could rearrange and make different art every time they rearranged it, which is kind of neat. And I don't know if you're still planning on doing this, but I talk to Henry very often, and he's a good guy there. I enjoy him very much. And he said that you're thinking of maybe doing a children's book with some interactive issues like that, things.
Yeah, we would like to do a children's book, and the idea would be to have certain pages and then magnets that could pop out of the book so that you could use them all throughout the book. And I would also like a space that comes with an eraser so that children could write their own stories about each different picture. And then when they wanted to write a new story, all they have to do is erase it, and they could come up with different stories for different pictures. So I'm hoping that will happen. We're trying.
How many of you would enjoy writing a little bit more if you got to use interactive magnetic pieces? Oh, it looks like the whole room, Mr. Rizzi.
Oh, wow. We'll have to tell that to the book publishing company.
And I'm sure if you need my students to testify to that, we'd be happy to.
Good.
We have a couple more, and these are a little less art related, just kind of questions about you. Cheyenne?
What is your favorite food?
What is my favorite movie?
Food as to eat.
Oh, food. Oh, food. I like spaghetti and meatballs a lot, but I also like soups. So soup, I like Japanese food a lot. It's very healthy, so I like sushi and miso soup. But I think my favorite food is still pasta, good pasta, because that's what my mother made a lot, was good spaghetti and meatballs.
So do you have any recommendations if any of us ever get to go to New York City for a good restaurant we should try?
Well, the best Italian food, and we call this place all the time, and they deliver right to my house, is Pepe Rosa.
Pepe Rosa?
And it's right on Sullivan Street. I used to live on Sullivan Street. Now I live on a street called Lafayette Street.
Okay.
Pepe Rosa makes the best pasta, I think, in New York City.
Do you enjoy New York City, like the busyness of the city? How do you feel about living in the city?
I love the fact that I can walk out of my house and always see lots of people doing lots of things on the street. And New York City is such a multicultural society, and when I travel and I talk about New York City, I talk about it in a very positive way, because it's to the world that people from every single type of background can get along with each other and live in peace. So a lot of my work is about living in a peaceful society where everybody is happy and everybody gets along with each other.
And New York is definitely, like, you use as an inspiration. I've seen a lot of New York things in your work, correct?
Yes, New York is a big inspiration. I think the first works of art that I did, I went to school and college in Gainesville, Florida. I graduated from the University of Florida, and I was homesick. So some of the early drawings that I did was of New York. I like drawing New York City a lot because it gives me a lot of stuff. I can draw buildings, cars, people, dogs, cats, birds, the sun, the moon, and put them all inside one picture.
Great. Yeah, thank you. And now I know when I look at a taxi cab, I'll think about that taxi cab a little bit differently now, knowing that you actually drove one. Next question. Let's see, Jaden, we're going to ask this one. This is our last question, and if you want us to ask some more, or if you have some questions for us, I'm sure we'd be happy to oblige.
Okay.
Do you have any pets?
I had a pet cat for 16 years, and her name was Tippy Toes. Because whenever I pet Tippy Toes, she would do a little dance on the toes. First time I got her and I started scratching her little head, she started dancing, and I said to a friend of mine, look, she's dancing on her tippy toes. Then she said, wow, what a great name that would be for a cat. So I named the cat Tippy Toes, and then most people call the cat Tippy for short. But Tippy was old and Tippy died last summer, so now I don't have a pet. I miss Tippy Toes very much because she was a very, very good friend and lived here for 16 years.
Wow, that's a long time. Did you ever paint Tippy Toes?
I put Tippy Toes in so many paintings that Tippy Toes became very famous.
Kind of up there with your little bird that you draw, correct?
That's right. You can see Tippy Toes if you look through any of my books or publications and you see a cat, it's usually Tippy Toes.
Oh, what did Tippy Toes look like so we can keep our eyes open?
Tippy Toes was sort of gray and black and brown.
Okay.
She was a regular street cat.
All right, well, we'll look for her. All right, so do you have any questions for us, Mr. Rizzi?
I was just wondering how many people there would like to be an artist when they grow up.
How many artists have we got?
Wow.
Quite a few.
A lot of people. Well, I suggest to you kids that any dream can come true. When I first told everybody that I wanted to be an artist, they would say, oh, it's too hard to be an artist, that you can't make a living. But there's lots of ways to make a living as an artist these days, and especially with computer technology. And there's all different types of artists. You can be a graphic artist, you can be a painter. There's so many different opportunities for artists, and also you can teach art too. So I suggest to all you people that want to be an artist to study hard, study all your artists too. Believe me, my dream can come true, anybody's dream.
My after-school kids made a mural inspired by your art, and we were wondering if you could... So here's the mural, and they especially wanted, we did the daytime and the nighttime. We noticed that a lot in your artwork, and then if we could lift this up a little bit higher, we've got all different fun, silly buildings.
Oh, great. I think it looks wonderful. You guys did a great job. I love all the beautiful colors. You should be very proud of yourself. I think it's beautiful.
Thank you, Mr. Rizzi. And we're going to hang that up in our hallway with the sign that we made too, so that our whole school can see it.
Oh, thank you so much.
We want to thank you very much for taking the time to meet with us. It's been a complete pleasure.
Well, thank you very much, and feel free to keep in touch with me, to keep in touch with Henry. I love doing things like this, so if ever you wish to do it again, please, I'm available, except for when I'm traveling. And I want to thank everybody, and it was really good to see you all. So, thank you very much. I enjoyed this quite a bit.
Thank you. You guys, we have a little sign, another little sign for you, if you could see that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And we definitely used some fluorescent paint in there, so.
I like the colors that you're using. I like all the outfits that girls and everybody wears. Looks like the people like color a lot.
I think so. You guys like color? Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. You have a wonderful evening. We really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Bye.
Peace. Peace.
Yes.